Howard Stern once hurled Bologna at naked backsides, gleefully shredding every taboo the FCC could name. Fast forward to late 2024, and that same self-styled rebel clasped Vice President Kamala Harris's hands, confessed he'd vote for a wall if it meant voting for her, and fretted aloud that satire might bruise her feelings. Somewhere between the strip club on-air era and this velvet cushion interview, something snapped. Last week, Fox's Greg Gutfeld and pod queen Megyn Kelly torched Stern's metamorphosis, one with jokes sharp enough to leave scorch marks and analysis cold enough to freeze a legacy in place. Was it a natural evolution, or a brand new mask? Stick around, the receipts are brutal. But first, how did the rebel of 1995 turn into the whispering therapist of 2025, early October 2024? Stern's Manhattan studio glowed purple, Kamala Harris settled in, and the king of all media sounded more like an anxious fan than a fearless host. He vowed to vote for her even if the polling booth offered nothing but drywall, praised her stamina, "I don't know how you even nap," and admitted Saturday Night Live's gentle sketches made him cringe with protectiveness. The internet exploded. Longtime listeners called it the day Howard Stern left the building. Clips racked up millions of plays, not for Harris's talking points but for Stern's visible eagerness to play cheerleader. Memes compared the scene to a therapy session where the patient receives the couch, the tissues, and the final edit. Yet that soft focus sit-down was only the spark. The wildfire needed oxygen, and two veteran flamethrowers were happy to oblige. From 1990s to 2000s. FCC fines stack up, blackface sketches air, Columbine jokes cross every known line, and Stern's ratings climb anyway. Rebel branding complete.in 2010s. A $400 million SiriusXM deal buys seclusion in the Hamptons, A-list friendships, and a studio that looks more spa than shock radio bunker. Listeners notice the edge dulling, but the paycheck cushions the blow. From 2020 to 24. Pandemic lockdowns trap Stern in his basement. He relabels himself woke, apologizes for past bits, and brags that being called woke is a compliment. 2025. New York Post insiders whisper that the ideological U-turn keeps Hollywood party invites flowing. Meanwhile, SiriusXM's January 30th shareholder filing shows top-tier listener hours slipping for the first time in a decade, with executives blaming decline in monthly active users. On Fox's late-night panel, Gutfeld leaned back, flashed that sideways grin, and dubbed Stern a wussified sycophant, a Botoxed NPR host who swapped brass knuckles for aromatherapy and green juice. He reeled off greatest hits comparisons, then, flinging cold cuts at dancers with sniper-level precision. Now, massaging political egos like a red carpet concierge. Gutfeld's killer line. He didn't just sell out. He sold the mic, the booth, the headphones, and threw in his spine for free, landed with a thud heard across X feeds and morning radio recaps. Clips of the rant hit 1 million views in 24 hours, helped by Fox posting the segment titled, "Howard Stern has become a wussified sycophant," but sarcasm was only Act 1. A scalpel awaited in Act 2. Kelly opened her podcast by saying, "Stern was never brave, he was loud, there's a difference." Megyn Kelly, her tone was almost forensic. Principle versus paycheck. Stern's growth coincided neatly with a renewal clause and swanky dinners at Manhattan's chic Polo Bar. The man who once blasted Hollywood phoniness now hosts Hollywood confessionals. Kelly scoffed, turning interviews into group therapy love-ins, free speech versus filter. The ex-champion of No Rules Radio now polices jokes about Harris, begging Saturday Night Live to tread lightly. Kelly's verdict: Stern wasn't redeemed, he'd rewritten history with highlighter in one hand, Sharpie in the other. Her episode shot to Apple's top 5 the same week, while Stern slipped to 8th, another public humiliation hiding in plain sight. The backlash now had momentum, and big names joined the dogpile. Donald Trump, never one to miss low-hanging fruit, told Fox that Stern went woke, and his ratings went down the tubes. The New York Times media column mocked Stern's hour-long warm embrace of Harris, while an op-ed in USA Today asked if the self-styled shock jock was now merely audio wallpaper. An analyst note claimed, later debunked, that SiriusXM lost 100,000 subscribers after the Harris interview. Even the rumor stung. Reddit threads titled, "Howard's Audience, Does Anyone Still Listen?" shot to the site's front page, with users guessing the live listener count had dipped below 10K. But sentiment is one thing. Hard numbers tell a harsher story. Ratings, revenue, and relevance. The data doesn't lie. SiriusXM SEC filing, January 2025 ad-supported talk listener hours declined YOY, naming Stern's channel as material to variance. Podcast charts, Q2 2025 The Megyn Kelly Show outranked Stern on Apple and Spotify for the first time, driven by 176% YOY growth. YouTube metrics, Gutfeld's, wussified, clip racks 5 times Stern's average view count for any highlight posted this year. Social analytics firm TrendPulse measured a 480% spike in sellout mentions attached to Stern's name across X and TikTok in the week following the Harris interview. Viewers weren't just leaving, they were narrating their exit, which begs a bigger, evergreen question. What happens when counterculture heroes slide into the culture they once skewered? Rock stars become lifestyle brand CEOs. Stand-up comics morph into pundits terrified of punchlines, and shock jocks, apparently, mellow into cardigan-coated interviewers soothing the very elites they lampooned. Audiences can forgive aging and even evolving, but they punish pandering. The moment fans sense the microphone is angled for industry applause, they bail. Stern's story is a cautionary tale for every creator riding an outsider badge today. If authenticity is your product, dilution is fatal. It doesn't matter how many zeros line a contract. The betrayal feels personal, and personal grudges trend better than any PR rewrite. So where does Howard Stern go from here? Howard Stern built an empire by asking the questions no one else dared and laughing when the censors screamed. Now, the empire's guards wear designer suits, the questions feel pre-approved, and the laughter sounds canned. Greg Gutfeld lit the match, Megyn Kelly carved the epitaph, but the truth smolders on its own. Rebellion rented can never be reclaimed. Does evolution require selling out, or can a rebel age without the rage? Tell me below. And if you think late-night TV's in the same existential spiral, wait till tomorrow's upload. Why 2024 broke the monologue, and what comes next? Tap subscribe, smash the bell, and keep the conversation savage but smart.